What would you do if the love of your life betrayed you for gold? Would you cry? Would you beg? Or would you make a deal with something far more powerful? This is not just a love story, it's a tale of betrayal, vengeance, and the keys that could turn a man into a beast. Stay with me, because once you hear this tale, you'll never trust love the same way again. Deep in the heart of village of Willowbrook, where the sun bathed the land in a golden warmth, and the rivers whispered ancient secrets, lived a young woman named Eleanor. She was known for her beauty, but more than that, she had a spirit as bright as the morning sun. She moved with grace, her deep brown skin gleaming under the light, her dark braided hair adorned with cowrie shells that sang when she walked. Eleanor was in love with Daniel, a strong and ambitious young man, the son of the wealthiest merchant in the village. He had eyes like the night sky and a voice that could make the wind pause to listen. They had been in love since childhood, spending their evening by the great baobab tree, promising to be together forever. "I will marry no other," Daniel would say, holding her hand beneath the moonlight, and Eleanor believed him. But love, as the elders often said, was only as strong as the trails it could withstand. A love that was meant to last forever, shattered by greed. Eleanor gave her heart to Daniel, but he chose gold over love, and now something deep inside her is about to awaken. If you love dark folk tales full of mystery, suspenses, and powerful lessons, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what happens next, because once Eleanor entered the Forbidden Land, there is no turning back. Let's dive back into the story. One day, a powerful merchant from neighboring kingdom arrived in Willowbrook. He brought with him his daughter Isabella, a woman of rare beauty, draped in finest silk with gold rings that shimmered on her arms. She had eyes sharp as hawks and a presence that demanded attention. Daniel's father, a man who valued wealth above all, saw an opportunity. He approached his son. "You will marry Isabella," he said. Daniel hesitated. "But father, I love Eleanor." His father scoffed. "Love does not fill stomachs, my son. Love does not build houses. Marry Isabella and our family will become the richest in the land." Daniel struggled, but the lure of riches was too strong. He convinced himself that Eleanor would understand, that time would heal her pain. Days later, when Eleanor arrived at the market, she heard the whispers before she saw it. "Did you hear?" One woman said. "Daniel is to marry the merchant's daughter. He will be rich beyond measure." Eleanor's heart pounded. It could not be true. She ran to Daniel's home. Tears in her eyes, she found him standing in the courtyard, his face troubled. "Tell me it is a lie," she pleaded. Daniel could not meet her gaze. "Eleanor, I must do this for my family." Eleanor's chest tightened. "What about our promises, our love?" Daniel saw it, his voice almost a whisper. "Love is not enough." Eleanor's vision blurred with tears. She felt the weight of 1,000 shattered dreams pressing down on her. Without another word, she turned and fled into the forest, the whisper of the villagers following her like ghosts. Blinded by sorrow, Eleanor ran deeper into the forest than ever before. She did not stop until she reached the edge of the Forbidden Land, where the trees twisted unnaturally and the air carried the scent of old magic. The elders had always warned the villagers to stay away. "It's the home of the great serpent Azrael," they would say. "It grants wishes, but at a terrible price." Eleanor, broken and desperate, stepped forward. I've nothing left to lose, she whispered. A cold wind wrapped around her as a deep rumbling voice filled the air. Why do you come to me, child of village? Eleanor turned to see a massive serpent emerging from the shadows, its scales shimmering like polished ebony, its golden eyes filled with ancient wisdom. I've been betrayed, she said, her voice trembling. I want revenge, I want power, I want to more than what I am. The serpent coiled around her, studying her. Power comes with a price, child. Are you willing to pay it? Eleanor swallowed her fear. I will pay whatever it takes. The serpent hissed, its golden eyes narrowing. Then drink from the river of shadows, and you shall be reborn. Eleanor knelt by the black river that ran through the serpent's cave. She cupped the dark water in her hands and drank. A burning sensation spread through her body, twisting her veins, reshaping her bones, awaking something ancient inside her. She screamed as power surged through her, and then everything went silent. 3 moons later, Eleanor returned to the village, but she was no longer the same. Her beauty was known beyond human. Her skin glowed like polished bronze. Her eyes burned gold like the serpent's, and her voice carried a power that made men tremble. She wore a robe of black and gold silk, woven from the very shadows of the serpent's cave. She moved like a queen, with an air of mystery and danger. When she walked through the village, the people whispered, "Who is she? She looks like Eleanor, but different." There is something unnatural about her. Even Daniel, now married to Isabella, could not look away. That night, Eleanor attended a grand feast at the chief's palace. She smiled at Daniel from across the fire, her golden eyes flickering like the flames. Daniel felt a pull, something intoxicating, irresistible. He could not understand it, but he needed to be near her. Eleanor leaned in close, her voice a whisper against his ear. Do you still think love is not enough? Daniel's breath caught in his throat. He could not speak. Eleanor laughed softly, running a finger down his cheek. Come to me when the moon is high. And like a man lost in a dream, he obeyed. When the village slept, Daniel sneaked away from his wife's side and went to the Eleanor's chamber. Eleanor, he whispered, I made a mistake. I should never have left you. Eleanor smiled, but there was something cruel in her eyes. Do you love me? She asked. Yes, he said breathlessly. Then prove it, she whispered. She leaned in and kissed him. But the moment their lips touched, Daniel felt a terrible pain. His body stiffened, his skin turning cold, his veins darkened as something ancient crept through him. He gasped, trying to pull away, but it was too late. His hands turned to scales. His legs melted together, forming a long, slithering tail. He screamed, but no words came out, only desperate, inhuman hiss. Eleanor stepped back, watching as Daniel's form twisted and changed. His once strong body shriveled, his eyes widened in horror, and within moments he was no longer a man. He was a serpent, a small, helpless snake coiling at Eleanor's feet. Eleanor knelt, lifting him by the tail, her golden eyes filled with dark satisfaction. You chose wealth over love, she whispered. Now you will crawl for the rest of your life. With that, she released him into the wild, where he slithered into the darkness, forever cursed. From that night on, Eleanor ruled the village from the shadows. No man could resist her, but none dared betray her, for they all know what had happened to Daniel. She became known as the Serpent Queen, a woman of a great beauty and power, one whose love could destroy and whose kiss could turn men into beasts. And on quiet nights, when the moon was full, the villagers swore they could hear the soft hiss of a serpent, whispering the name Daniel in the wind. Love, once betrayed, can become the most dangerous force for all. Greed and ambition may bring wealth, but they come at a cost. When you trade a love for power, you may find that power comes with a curse you can never escape.